Welcome back to DeepVisus, where vision meets depth. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of brain modeling with an episode titled Neural Fields, Mapping the Brain's Collective Mind. Our main source for this episode is the book Neural Fields, Theory and Applications, edited by Stephen Coombes, beim Graben, Roland Potthast, and James Wright. Specifically, we're focusing on Chapter 1, the tutorial introduction to neural field theory. Before we begin, let me pose a question that will guide our journey today. How can we make sense of the brain's immense complexity and turn billions of interacting neurons into comprehensible patterns? Let's explore. The big picture. What are neural fields? Neural field theory is all about zooming out. Instead of tracking every single neuron, it treats the activity of large populations of neurons as a smooth, continuous field, like a weather map for the brain. This approach helps neuroscientists and mathematicians reduce overwhelming complexity into something we can analyze, simulate, and perhaps even understand. Chapter 1 of our source book sets the stage by highlighting a key challenge in neuroscience. We have mountains of experimental data and increasingly precise tools to observe the brain, but integrating all this information into a unified theory remains elusive. Neural field theory steps in as a potential solution, offering a mathematical framework to bridge microscopic details, like individual neuron firings, and macroscopic phenomena, such as brain rhythms seen in electroencephalography or EEG. The chapter traces the roots of neural field models to pioneers like Wilson and Cowan, who in the 1970s developed equations to describe how populations of excitatory and inhibitory neurons interact over space and time. These models use integral differential equations, a mathematical blend of integration and differentiation, to capture how activity at one point in the brain influences activity elsewhere. Key ingredients. Synaptic processing. The model starts at the synapse, where the firing of one neuron leads to chemical changes and electrical currents in another. This process is mathematically described using functions that model the time course of synaptic conductance. Dendritic processing. Dendrites, the tree-like branches of neurons, further filter and spread these signals. The classic cable equation, a partial differential equation or PDE, models how signals fade and disperse along these branches. Population firing rates. Instead of tracking spikes, neural field models often use a firing rate function, typically a sigmoid curve, to represent the average activity level of a neuron population. One of the most exciting aspects of neural field theory is its ability to explain how patterns emerge in the brain. Through something called Turing instability analysis, named after Alan Turing, the theory predicts when uniform brain activity gives way to spatial patterns, like stripes or spots, or to traveling waves of activity. These are the mathematical underpinnings of the brainwave equations, which describe how large-scale electrical activity propagates across the cortex, much like ripples on a pond. Neural field models are not just abstract math. They help us interpret EEG rhythms, understand visual hallucinations, explore memory mechanisms, and even model human-robot interaction. They offer a powerful lens for both theoretical neuroscience and practical applications. So, returning to our guiding question. How can we make sense of the brain's immense complexity and turn billions of interacting neurons into comprehensible patterns? Chapter 1 of Neural Fields. Theory and application shows us that by treating neural activity as a field, using the language of mathematics and physics, we can uncover the hidden order in the brain's apparent chaos. Neural field theory doesn't solve every riddle, but it gives us a unifying framework, a map, to navigate the vast, interconnected landscape of the mind. That's it for today's episode of DeepVisus, where vision meets depth. If you found yourself fascinated by the idea of brainwaves, pattern formation, and the mathematical secrets of the mind, stay tuned. In our next episode, we'll venture deeper into the dynamics of neural fields and explore how these models help us understand cognition, perception, and even consciousness. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive and remember, the brain's greatest patterns are waiting to be discovered.